Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video covering the Letshuoer S12 2024 edition. This is an absolutely beautiful IEM and one of my favorite not only unboxings of the year, but my favorite listening experiences of the year as well. Tuning of the S12 2024 edition reminds me of the Ziigaat Arete Hype 4. This is a single planar magnetic driver, 14.8 millimeters on each side, and the faceplate, the body, has received an upgrade from the original S12. I believe it is a titanium chamber and it is CNC milled. Just a beautiful and elegant and lightweight IEM, and especially for somebody who is looking for something comfortable and on the small side, this is definitely a very comfortable IEM for streaming, gaming for 8+ hour sessions. I did not have any issues at all. I don't have the default ear tips on here. I have the Astral EarFit ASMR tips. I'll leave a link down below. That's what I'm using right now on a lot of my IEMs, including the Arete. You guys can see the in the box, you do get a set of rubber tips and 2 sets of silicone tips. You get a really nice looking leather keychain here with gold to match the IEMs themselves. You get a commemorative coin because this is a limited edition of the S12 2024, and it does have a pretty cool spin to it. So it's a nice touch for something to include in the box. It's just a really nice, elegant unboxing experience, and you do get that Letshuoer hard carrying case that does unscrew and has plenty of depth for things that you would like to put in here, including cable or a few sets of IEMs. It's just a nice touch and something that won't take up too much space in whatever you're traveling with. And again, it's hard, so it's not going to bend and potentially hit anything inside. The cable does look beautiful as well. It's a high-end feeling cable, and it does have a interchangeable termination that does match the faceplate color of the IEMs themselves, and the Y-split area does match the color of the faceplate, and the area near the 2-pin connection is also matching the shell itself. So a really nice cable, really nice looking IEM, and just an awesome unboxing experience, all coming in at $199. Now, one of the big things is, for me, the reason I like this so much, and it's one of my favorite IEMs so far that I've received this year, is the tuning crossover for gaming and music. For music, this has such a powerful and impactful low end that doesn't seem to muddy the mids. The mids are absolutely beautiful, including male vocals, female vocals, and timbre on instruments moving into the high end, vibrant, dynamic, just feeling and sounding absolutely beautiful with, again, a low end that brings you into the music and makes you feel just immersed. It's a really nice sounding IEM that for even music listening does have a wide sound stage and fantastic imaging. Now, again, we're primarily focused on gaming, and for competitive gaming purposes, I've given this a B+ across the board. I think it was fantastic in Apex, great in Valorant, and great in Call of Duty. And Call of Duty is definitely the hardest one to kind of nail the IEM that works really well for Call of Duty. But I do think it works fantastic. Again, Call of Duty's sound engine has its issues, but moving to an IEM that performs a little bit better makes things that much easier to hear. So a great performance there. It almost reminded me of the performance I had with the FIO FA19. And I do think it performs, and I'll show you guys the tuning of this compared to the Ziigaat Arete Hype 4. I think it performs a little bit better than the Hype 4 in gaming. To me, things are just a little bit more localized in different titles. I think the imaging is fantastic. The depth perception is there in terms of really getting that like yardage read of where people are. And then moving into fights with how impactful the bass was for music. I thought it was going to have a separation issue in game, and it just doesn't. So it's got a nice U-shaped tuning that feels great, feels immersive and impactful, but then has that separation to boot, as well as that imaging and depth perception performance for both verticality as well as through the mix. I'll show you guys just some live commentary I had while testing these with the default cable, with the Astral EarFit ASMR Max ear tips, and in testing them in Apex, COD, and Valorant. Let's check it out. Going up zips, not too aggressive in terms of the elevation in the dB, and then the overall ambient noise does feel actually quite immersive. As I'm just running around and listening to my teammates, everything is like kind of even keel, but very noticeable as well. So just like keeping track of my teammates is going to be a little bit on the easier side as well. We'll see how gunshots sound. Doesn't sound overwhelmingly aggressive, which is fantastic, but we'll see how it sounds like in an actual gunfight. Like the depth read right now is really, really nice. Like the depth perception of those shots as I'm looting, really strong. Hearing the footsteps during all the grenades going off. Gunfire, again, not overwhelming at all in terms of like exclusion of other things happening in the space. And that right there is why audio, being able to hear things when things are happening is so important. Knowing that that guy was there, being able to not chase that guy to the end of the earth, knowing that somebody's behind me. Really impactful on the slide, like just that urgency on the crosshair placement and good separation of footsteps in the building. Even while thirsting that guy, I mean, being able to shoot and hear those footsteps on that Revenant, I mean, beyond important in terms of, like, rotating your crosshair exactly when you need to. Gunfire in general is just not very overwhelming, so pretty easy to keep focused during fights. Being able to keep track of everything and not feel overwhelmed with this much shooting is really a beautiful thing. Moving over to Call of Duty. Call of Duty has one of the hardest sound engines to really actually get like a good read on, but some things definitely work much better than others. And one of the things is during moments of occlusion, having bass that's still impactful enough to get the thumpy footsteps, but not overly burdensome, where it's muddled and you lose everything. Good depth perception on shots. Even with everything going on, like still really good localization. Even with that occlusion, everything's still like kind of popping through to a great extent. Just really good imaging as soon as like those footsteps get in range of being like very palpable. This is a really great IM. And moving to Valorant. Once you get in game, you definitely have this sense of warmth, but still through the mix, I find it easy to hear footsteps. The imaging is actually quite good, and I don't find for as much bass as the set has. Like when I'm shooting a Vandal, I'm still hearing things throughout the mix, which is very important. Good depth and good localization of everything that's happening around me. And the sense of verticality, like some people above you on ramps and things like that, definitely very noticeable. Most importantly, though, the separation does seem to be actually quite good. Horizontal imaging good, depth perception sounds great. I feel like depth perception could be a little bit more holographic, but so far it's actually sounding really, really nice. And the emphasis on things like things that are a little bit closer to you, you're definitely getting a nice differentiation of that urgency that we like to see for tech shooters, so that we have adequate crosshair placement of where we need to be and when, you know, what you need to focus on first. I do find adding a little bit more power to the IM as well actually does help quite a bit with the emphasis in Valorant. Things seem to feel a little bit more immersive, a little bit more holographic, so the imaging actually does seem to hit a little bit harder the more power you go. And I find increasing the volume or increasing the power output, it doesn't blow things up to any great extent. Like the gunfire doesn't become too boomy, if that makes sense. So guys, that is going to be it for the Letshuoer S12 2024 edition. This is the 8th anniversary pack, so I was told what I was being sent was going to be coming in at $199. Although I'm not sure if there's a standard edition that's at $199, and this is a little bit more expensive, but I believe everything is under $300 for this package that you see here. This being at a B+, I think is even going to be the top rated planar on my wallhack certification tier list, coming in at a B+. I do want to reiterate that a B+ compared to a B- is a big difference. When I'm in Apex, I want to be engaged in a gunfight and still hear the shuffling, the footsteps, the positioning of the enemy team and my teammates to know how I can micromanage my health. And I also want to be able to pick up those shield cells and a lot of those minute details that are coming through, and a B+ on the list does it so much better than a B-. So keep that in mind. And again, at a B+, I do think this might be the top rated planar on my list. So if this whole package is at $199, I think this is a amazing package. The cable is beautiful, it's modular, very premium. The carrying case, the keychain, the extra goodies, everything here just feeling like an overall fantastic package for the S12 2024. Again, this is a first impressions. I'll continue playing A and B testing with my A- to B+ range on my list to see if this can get into that territory. But right now, I'm very comfortable placing this at a B+. That is going to be it for this one, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. See you guys in the next review. Peace.